Welcome to the Concept, Volume 002. I'm Dillon. This is Lucas. I'm not going to reintroduce ourselves.
Yeah, I don't think I need to.
It may look like we're in the same setting with the same lighting and the same clothing, but no, we recorded a week later. We just got really lucky and we were really smart.
Yeah, we're just trying to keep it consistent.
So, we only film on days for cloudy and ties.
Tries to look like a bagel.
He's just a big old bagel cow. All right, are you ready for more questions?
Yes, hit me!
Woo! Okay, if you have done something activity-wise for many years and you have to abruptly stop due to an injury, how do you find another activity that gives you the same feeling and exertion without hurting yourself?
That is tough.
You don't, you give up, just become a couch potato and that's it. All right, next question.
Yep, pretty much. No, I think that's really hard. I don't think our society, especially not our medical society, really gives enough thought or conscious effort to the effect that injuries have on people's mental stability. I think exercise and activity for a lot of people, especially athletes or those that were athletes as kids, and you get into running and the camaraderie that comes along with sports and competition and things of that nature. And when that feeling abruptly stops and you go to the doctor and you get a surgery or whatever, and they say, hey, yeah, by the way, you can never run again. I know you've been doing it for 40 years, but just stop that. And I'll see you in 6 months. I think it's really hard for a lot of people to handle. The best thing, ultimately the only thing that we can really try to do is manage symptoms. And I think a big question for a lot of people has to be, well, how much do you actually love what you're doing? If I'll give myself as an example, because I'm really talking from personal experience. Snowboarding is one of my big passions. I can't play football anymore. I can't play lacrosse. I can't run. I can't do the things that I used to do from an activity standpoint. So I've chosen and snowboarding is obviously a very high impact sport as well. However, it's the most, I guess it's the safest route for me to take in regard to an activity that I still enjoy. And it's not something I'm willing to give up. So that understanding that I'm going to get back into snowboarding this winter and it's going to hurt my knee. So I'm going to do everything that I can possibly do with my nutrition, with my mental, and with my workouts and my recovery periods to ensure that I can do that activity to the best of my abilities, with the understanding that I'm going to be in pain after. So after I go snowboarding, I need to go home and I need to ice and I need to stretch and I need to do my mobility stuff. I might need to take some non-steroidal anti-inflammatory medication. I might need to take a few days off, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. So if you get to the point where you can no longer make that sacrifice because the activity that you're actually doing and you've done all of the other stuff is no longer working, then that's just kind of life. So it becomes trial and error of the new activity. So when I can't snowboard anymore, I'm going to get into hopefully split boarding. So I'll cross country ski and hike and then take one run instead of taking 20. And I want to get into snowmobiling, and I could get into swimming in some capacity. I could try mountain biking because that is something that'll definitely hurt me more. I think it's just a question that people have to ask themselves, and unfortunately there are going to be certain activities that we can no longer do anymore. So it's about figuring out the next thing that makes you happy and gives you that same euphoric effect. And that's what we're all about here, is empowering people to find a new activity or event or something that they really can enjoy doing, even though they're hurt. So when you get hurt, you come in here, you put in the work. It sucks, but ultimately you're doing all of the other stuff so that you can get back to whatever it is that you want to do, or we can help you find a new venue with new people and a new culture for you to build around something that would be more beneficial to your body and your physical health, other than whatever it was that you once loved doing.
So keep moving.
Just keep moving.
Just keep concept moving.
Keep concept moving.
Step one, strength train. Try to avoid,
So, step one would be identify the problem. So if you're hurt and you go to the doctor and they say, yep, this is what you have going on. So you identify the problem. You do conservative treatment first. So whether that's physical therapy, working with an ATC, working with a chiropractor, a hopefully knowledgeable personal trainer, and understanding the mechanism of injury so that you can avoid that during your lifts. So you do the recovery process, rehab, stretching, strengthening, all of that stuff. You're still having pain, you go back to the doctors, you usually have a surgical intervention, come back, rehab, recover, understand that it's going to be a significant process. I always encourage people when they've gotten hurt to go to therapy, mental therapy. It's definitely helped me a lot in my life, talking about, hey, I can't do something that I love anymore and it's challenging. That's something that they can help with a lot better than we can. And then hopefully you do all of those things. In an ideal world, you do all that stuff and you get over the hump and you get back to whatever it was that you love doing through after you go through this rehab hiatus. A big thing that people don't realize is rehab and recovery after you have been hurt doesn't stop ever. So again, going back to like our healthcare system and insurance and all that stuff, people get hurt, they go to PT for 8 to 12 weeks, twice a week, 2 hours a week out of 170, they're doing rehab, but then they don't do any of their home exercise programs, they don't do all this stuff. And then after 8 weeks of PT, insurance runs out, and they're like, okay, I did PT, I'm done, I think it's great. That would be like me saying, sweet, 2 hours a week out of 170, because you want to lose weight, I want you to try to eat. I don't want you to eat anything those 2 hours a week, but outside of that, do whatever you want. And then you expecting to lose weight and hit your goals. Like, your body doesn't work that way. So if you get hurt, you're going to have to work twice as hard to get back to where you were before. And once you get back to where you were before, just like if you were to lose 50 pounds, you don't stop doing everything that allowed you to lose 50 pounds. So like if you blow your leg out, like you don't stop doing all the stuff that allowed your leg to feel better. It's the same thing, and we just don't think about that.
Makes total sense.
So people like go through the rehab process, they feel better, they stop doing all that stuff, they get back into their activity, and then their pain comes back, and they're like, I don't get it. Well, yeah, if you didn't keep doing the lifestyle change that you did in the first place, like you wouldn't keep the weight off either.
Yeah.
So it's just it's a mindset thing.
Mm-hmm. Totally. And then if you can, you try to get over that hump, get back to what you love. If you don't, find an alternative.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, everyone has to accept the fact, like, okay, I'm not willing to be, it takes the enjoyment out of it. Like if I went snowboarding and the first run, I get to the bottom, my knee blows up and it's like, oh my God, this hurts, I can't even walk. Like, then the activity is just not fun anymore and you get frustrated and you blame it on your injury. But ultimately there's other stuff that's out there and it's change. So the frustration and stuff comes from change. So we have to take the step into getting into whatever comes next. So safely, ideally.
Being aware of your limits, I guess.
Circumstances. Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here. What does Dillon even do at the gym? I'm very hurt. Everyone knows that I am the main parking lot manager here at Concept Move. There's not a lot of spaces out there, and I try my hardest to organize it, and it gets really busy when we have training clients, and then we have a class coming in, because it's like, I'm out there, I get my vest and my lights, and I'm just directing as fast as I can, and no one cares. Not right now. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer. Thank you. Chief Marketing Officer. So my day-to-day is basically, building the website was the first thing, making sure that we're not getting hacked by Russians, for the love of God. From there, I do all our social media stuff, all our marketing videos, I'll go and edit. I take all the photos. I run the admin stuff most of the time. I do payroll and insurance and all that fun stuff. So I kind of do a little bit of everything behind the scenes. And I try to work out when I can, and then I get, chirped when I do. So I don't know. I just do a little bit of everything, but my main focus is mostly the parking lot because it's a safe zone out there, and no one can chirp my legs. So that's how I feel. Next question. How many days can your stomach muscles be sore before you should be alarmed? Oh dear.
I would say, Kelly,
that's who this from.
I know you were concerned that your abs were so sore. Anything after 7 days. That's all I'm going to say.
7 days.
7 days, you're still sore. 7 days later, go to the hospital. Anything before that, you'd be all right.
You probably have like an enlarged...
Unless there's like... Unless there's like a real issue. If there's a real issue, we should talk. But
almost immediately,
I think
then I would.
It was just a really hard day, and 7-day recovery. Make sure you're sleeping enough. Okay. I don't want to take the brunt of your wrath because you didn't get to bed on time.
Is that right? See? That's a problem you face though. Is that people come in and then they do their workout and then they're not taking care of their bodies outside. They're not sleeping. They're not eating properly, and then well, I'm not recovering. It's your fault.
Yeah, well, it's not my fault. So, you come here, I tell you what to do, and I love hanging out with everyone and stuff. But at the end of the day, I can't be there to tuck in 22 of my clients. So go to bed at 9 o'clock, and everyone should be waking up by 6 every day, and you should eat 4 to 5 times throughout the day, and it should be checked off, and it's gonna be 0 to 100. I'm making a change. A lot to be changed. I'm sick of this.
It's mostly mental, isn't it? Mostly mental. One of the problems I feel like people work out and then they're sore and they sit.
Yeah.
Don't sit, right?
Just stop sitting.
Don't ever sit. Just walk all the time. If you can't walk, then crawl.
There's another thing. Sitting gets a bad rap. We're sitting right now.
I'm sitting terribly.
Work on that. I sit terribly a lot. Sitting is not bad for you. It's the
life proof. It's just life
proof. The lack of movement is bad for you. You can sit all day, but get up, go walk around, go do something. If you're sore, move. It helps.
Stretch.
You don't want to just sit there. Drink water, a lot of it. Stop drinking so much alcohol.
I feel like you have really specific, 4 or 5 really specific lines you have in mind. You're just like, I can't stress this enough. Okay. How many push-ups does Ty do per day to keep his figure? This isn't Ty.
Ty, can you come over? Hey.
Come here, Ty. This one's for you, buddy. Oh, see?
So Ty does a lot of yoga.
His cat cows really are the
cat cows are really good. As you can see, we have a very fine specimen here. Ty strives to do roughly 1,000 push-ups a day, and 1,000 pull-ups, and 1,000 sit-ups, and then the other parts of the day you'll see him in here sleeping.
Just really ideal.
He's just really committed. I mean. He
shows up.
He takes his workout seriously. He only eats 4 cups of food a day. If that, very strict.
I mean, even now
I'm actually his dietitian, so he doesn't eat unless I tell him he can eat. And then he spends all the other time in his day sleeping and recovering his muscles. So if you are a dog, that's what you should be doing.
Every day.
Every day.
Why does Dillon have such bad taste in music? Okay, here's how it goes. So I don't control any of the music ever. What happens is we have a large mix, we're a melting pot of music lovers, which means we just have people who love, old school hip hop, classic rock, and then I love my music, and if you don't like it, then you can kick rocks and not come here. But no, we are working very hard day in, day out. I think that's mostly our main focus at this point is this song playlist.
Yeah. We gotta sit down and have a serious discussion and set up.
If it takes an hour, it takes an hour. If it takes 3 years, that'll take 3 years.
Looking at you, Liz. Looking at you.
And Kelly.
Kelly said we had good music yesterday.
Yeah. Because I was playing it.
No, I was playing White Panda.
I am the White Panda. So get a reality check. I'm not the White Panda. So hope he doesn't email us. Okay, back to serious weight questions, fitness questions. If someone is trying to lose weight, what's your advice for being successful in achieving that goal and not falling off the wagon?
That goes back to the nutrition stuff. So I feel like every year my number gets higher, so I'm going to make it higher even now. 90% of weight loss is nutrition. You need to be in a negative caloric deficit. Or you need to be in a caloric deficit. So a negative calorie balance. The benefit of weightlifting is that you can increase your lean muscle mass. So for all the people out there that think that cardiovascular activity, though it is important, if that is all you do, you suck.
You're gonna have a bad time.
You can't just go
to spin
class and spin for an hour every single day. Actually, spin class is an exception.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
Spin class is really hard, and it's really good for your legs.
Yoga is even more hard.
But just running every day. If you want to have the body of a marathon runner, awesome. Go run every single day and watch your calorie intake, and for the love of God, protect your knees. But you're gonna look like a pencil. It's all about what your goals are. So if you want to look like, I don't know what the new look is. I don't really care. I just if you want to look a certain way, your goals have to be in check with what you're doing. So key to weight loss is eating. If you eat less than if your body's normal thing is here and you only eat this much, you're gonna lose weight. Benefit of weightlifting is that you increase your lean muscle mass, which increases this threshold. So this basal metabolic rate with more lean muscle mass goes up higher, which means more calorie deficit on a daily basis, allows you to lose weight faster. That's why we lift weights while we're doing weight loss. Cardio is not the answer. Cardio is beneficial for a calorie burn standpoint, but as far as getting that lean, toned physique that everybody I think is looking for, that's kind of what we're talking about, you got to put weights up and you got to focus on your eating.
But the big picture is basically create your goals and then be accountable. You got
to tell us exactly what you want. You have to know exactly what you want. And then for each of those different things, there's a different strategy to get there. Somebody who wants to become a professional strongman, is going to be lifting super heavy weight.
That's Tate.
That's Tate.
Tate's gonna be
Never doing cardio and overeating the proper things. But nutritionally, like again, the nutritional component comes in even when you're trying to gain weight because you want it to be clean, ideally. Clean, whatever that means. Yeah, so you're gonna put on, if you're trying to put on muscle, you're gonna put on fat. That's why all the big strongman guys are huge. And likewise, if you don't care about muscle and you just want to be pencil thin, then just do cardio and stay under your calorie total and don't lift weights. But if you want to look like a Greek goddess,
meet in the middle. Don't be muscle.
Nutrition, exercise in the weight room, sleep,
stress.
Stress is a big one.
So yeah, you should go into that about meditating. And
I suck at meditating.
it's hard.
But I got this app called 10% Happier, and it's a guided meditation app. And each of their meditations are, there's huge variance in them. I try to meditate for 10 minutes a day, and it's basically like a course. So you just go through the whole course, but it really allows me to, I do it during my lunch break here. It allows me to kind of like reset my focus. Even if I don't do a great job on focusing on my breath and like keeping my mind clear, gives me a minute to just close my eyes, think about everything that I have going on, processing it, and I almost like solve problems in my head, even though I'm not supposed to be doing that because I'm supposed to be focused on my breathing and like clearing out my mind.
I just imagine you sitting there and having a bunch of like math symbols.
Yeah, it's more I would say like conversation bubbles, and like dumbbells.
I see.
Yeah, so it just allows me to recenter, and cortisol, which is the hormone released when we're stressed out, plays a huge role in weight loss and weight gain.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds like cortisone, and it sounds like if you have a rash.
Cortisone cream?
Yeah, you should probably use cortisone.
Depends on the rash, man.
Well, there you have it. That is all we have this week. We hope you enjoy it. And once again, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and subscribe to us on YouTube. We really appreciate it. And don't, again,
JP, I got your Snapchat.
Telemarketers around the world, concept Model 3. Puzzle pieces are literally together, concept move. It's that simple.
It just makes sense.
It really kind of does.
It's symbolic.
It gets the people going.
Yes.
All right, thank you.